Welcome, everybody, to Hawk Doc. This is Nick, also with DIY Detail. The background, by the way, I should change. But let's do some cross-branding. DIY Detail has a Memorial Day sale going on. Buy one bottle, 16 ounce, get the other half off. DIYDetail.com. And that way I can be loyal to both at once. How about that? Eddie Cologne with EC Details. I'm going to add you to the stream. I'm going to unmute you, and I'm going to say hello.
What's up, Nick?
How we doing, sir?
Living the dream here in Idaho. Freezing.
Freezing? How's it freezing?
57 degrees, Nick. You know, we talked earlier this week, and I was like, listen, I won't smoke a cigar the whole week.
How about
So
that?
I smoked one. And you know what happened?
Today. You smoked a cigar today.
Winter of 2022. It just hit. You can't be insured. It's nothing safe, bro. Killing everything.
Winter is happening right now?
It's 57 degrees, bro. It's freezing.
That's crazy, man. All right, who is Eddie Cologne? I'm going to get my banners all figured out. We're going to get people online here because we can already see the chat coming in. You got big fans. We got Joe Belinsky says, let's go.
That's my
What's up,
guy.
Joey? We got Umberto. We got
Ask him
Umberto.
about the rinseless. Ask him
And
about the
Sam
rinseless.
Squat. Joey Belinsky, what's up with the rinseless?
He was dogging your rinseless on the other podcast. Get him, Nick.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about that. Functional Docs in the house says, Hawk Pro Detailing, nice interview with Amy, and that Subaru now slips through the air since coated. We're talking about my Subaru, the one that we coated in Eddie's shop, or is that a different Subaru and I totally missed the boat? We're going to stay focused here today. Didn't take the Adderall, the ADHD medication today. Those Adderall days are long gone. I do have ADHD, but I'm medication free, so hopefully Functional Doc is proud of me. Let's stay focused with Eddie Cologne. Eddie, you came on the scene, EC Details, in November of 22 with a YouTube channel. Before that, nobody knew who you were. So can you give us a little bit of the genesis story about how you started a detailing channel and your experience with detailing? And we'll kind of pepper some comments from the crowd as we go.
Yeah, that's a great question, Nick. So it was Thanksgiving. My wife was like, we had her mom visiting. And, you know, I get secluded, so I just go to my room, I hide. And she's like,
You hid from the mother-in-law?
Yeah, of course, all the time. I love her, but if you're watching this, I love you. But sometimes you want your own space, and then winter gets me depressed because, you know, I lived in Florida half my life. So when there's no sun out, I kind of get weird. So she's like, hey, you know what you need to do? I said, what's up? She goes, you need to go to the garage that you built because I've been running the detailing business throughout the whole winter. And she says, shoot a video. And that was November 28th. I shot it the 28th and released it the 28th of my first rinseless wash video of my Tesla. So it started out of my wife saying, you need to do something, get out the house and put your name out there.
What do you mean? It just started there and then it just magically grew to 1,000? I mean, what happens after that, right?
It wasn't supposed to be anything.
It's hard to grow something.
It wasn't supposed to be anything. It was supposed to be an outlet to get through winter, if I'm being honest, right? The goal was, Eddie, get through winter, made me make a few videos here and there. And then all of a sudden, I got to tell you, I went from like 5 subscribers to 15 to 20. And then I said to myself, I could do this. I could do it. So I'm going to set a goal and I want to hit it. So my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers as fast as I could. I've been coached by you for my audio. I've been coached by you for my video. So I appreciate you being that guy. Right. And you and I didn't meet until the YouTube channel, until DIY, you know, I bought DIY products. So you've been part of that journey in the beginning. Yeah, the channel sucked. The video sucked and my mic sucked. I had no idea what I was doing.
I'm just playing some of your videos now because they've come a long way. You got like the Ultra HD videos, like kind of a little too close up. If I'm being honest, like I'm not trying to kiss you, buddy, you know. But I feel like I know you. That honestly though, this angle and how you get so close up with your fancy DSLR camera, it makes me feel like I know you because you can't hide, right? Like the eyes are the window to the soul. I can see your eyes, like I can see your facial hair. Like I feel like I'm up and close for better or worse with Eddie Cologne, and that's that might be part of how you've grown. It's like, because I think part of you and your personality and your story is infectious. And it's like, that's why I tell you, I'm like, just be you, man. Like, trust your gut, trust your intuition, like, open your heart, you know what I mean, to people. And, man, I've seen you do so many giveaways. Like, what is your philosophy? I see you giving away a lot of product to people. Tell me about that philosophy, because it's not easy starting a detail channel. Like, you don't have a lot of money sitting around when you're on the road to 1,000 or 10,000 or like the life changing money with YouTube, which I haven't seen yet, I think is like north of 100K subscribers, right? So like you're giving away as you go, and I think it's powerful. And I'm just curious your philosophy behind that.
So when we started the YouTube channel, my wife and I, after we got this is before cancer, before all that, we were sitting in a room one day, and I was telling her, you know who I want to be like? Like, I want to be the Mr. Beast of YouTube. Now, you're like, the why? Is it because, you know, people are going to know you by the giveaways? If you guys know me in real life, I think Sock's been at my house. Other people have been in my house. I'll give you the shirt off my back. Like, I want to take care of people. I've always been a giver.
Yeah.
Because a lot's been given to me. Does that make sense? I've been blessed. I've been taken care of. And I told myself and my wife, like, if we ever made it in the sense of me going to school, finishing, doing what I'm doing now, that anyone who comes to the channel, I want them to feel like I want to give stuff back. So I always want to. It's a God thing. I don't want to bring religion into your channel, but it's
do
like when much is given, much is required. Does that make sense? So I've been given so much in my life, even with the things going on with my wife and things happening at home. We're still blessed, right? I woke up this morning. The first thing I said was, "Thank you, Lord, for air," because you know people don't think like that, right? So I'm like, "Thank you for air." I walk out to my garage, bro. I'm spoiled, right? I have everything. So
you have the most, like, I've been to your garage. I was there last weekend. Dude, it's like Disneyland. Because you spent the money, bro. Like, you've got all the fancy stuff, like the Metrovac, Master Blaster, and all the fancy compounds and polishes. I do want to hear more about your story, but like, what's the most expensive thing you've purchased in there that you think was like legit worth every penny?
Outside of the floors and the walls, like tool wise.
Okay, is it the floors? Is it the?
It was the Montana wood wall. So that back wall, I did that so Bev could have a taste of home because she's from Montana. Okay. So we went and got ghost wood, and each piece cost me $20.
Dude, that's a classy wall too. I didn't know. Yeah. I don't know what I'm looking at on here. Can I fast forward? Is that the ghost? Where's the wall? I don't even know what this is.
I think you missed it a bit, but yeah, that's the wall. And then the second thing,
okay, there's the wall there. Yeah, and the Swiss Trax flooring.
The flooring, and then the vacuum. That vacuum costs more than my house payment.
Wait, so it's the flooring,
the wall,
and then you think the vacuum for $900 was worth it?
Hey, ever since you came and tried the vacuum, thanks, Functional Doc. Ever since you came and tried the vacuum, I didn't even think about doing a review on it because I thought it was just a vacuum, right? So my kids are like, Dad, using this ridge to vacuum the floor sucks, literally. Like, and when your workers start to hate work, you gotta make it easy for them. So my wife's like, you need to get a vacuum. And when your wife says to buy it, guess what you're doing, boys? I'm buying it. So if she's on board, I'm gonna get the most expensive vacuum.
There's the Montana wood wall behind you. So if you guys are listening to this right now and it's recorded, if you could do me a favor, like this video, subscribe, it'd be amazing. But in the moment, let me know how this connection sounds, because normally I turn off Wi-Fi and rely on Ethernet for these live streams. I've left the Wi-Fi on today, and my signal looks like it's a little low. It's unstable. So if you guys are having issues, Eddie's the tech guy. Eddie, could I go to Ethernet midstream, or would you advise not to do that? Well, let's see what people say.
You could go to you sound crisp on my end.
Okay.
So I don't know. You could do you, but you should.
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me.
Am
I a little scattered today, Eddie? Eddie knows me well.
No, I think
there's so much to talk about.
There's a lot. But to go back to what you're asking, like,
okay,
the goal was, no matter how big I was going to give something back. So before people started sending me stuff, before any of that, the first giveaways, I bought everything. These last giveaways, I was like, sponsored, you know, your DIY came in clutch and gave me 50% off, right? That's a deep discount when you think about that, right? You guys were so kind to take a lot of that cost on, and I appreciate DIY for doing that. ParksCarCare.net.
We appreciate you, man. I mean, I think early on, what people have resonated with is that you're a genuine human, right? I'm not talking about who you are as a detailer or how your videos are. Like, I just think you're genuine and you're likable. And then we can talk about the rest. Like, I give you all this crap about your sound, which I think you figured out today. Eddie's got all the best equipment. I'm like, Eddie, your sound sucks. Dude, you were like a bull, dude. You were not feeling it. I'm like, but I'm always honest with you, and you're always honest with
Yeah,
people, and I
yeah.
appreciate that about you. And I hope
You
you
know what
appreciate that
pissed me
about
off
me.
about that, Nick, is like
What?
I spent the money, right? I plugged it in the wrong hole. So listen, kids, if you buy a mic, make sure it goes into the microphone port, because the last 190 videos, I was putting in the headphone jack, and I'm over here yelling at the mic. Get it? Yelling at the mic, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm yelling at the mic. Can't even get the thing to sound. And the first thing Nick says is like, I probably made the best documentary video of my life, right? I don't have an Emmy like you, Nick. I made
Oh,
the best video of my life.
2 Emmys. 2 Emmys.
Two
Let's
Emmys.
just get it
Sorry,
straight.
2 Emmys. Nick has 2 Emmys. And the first thing Nick says to me is, you know what? Your mic sucks. I was like, so appreciate you for being honest. Appreciate you for being honest. It keeps me straight. And then I woke up this morning wanting to win.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
What is your why? You
For
have a
detailing?
detail business, but you also have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And you've got a personal situation that you've been very open about, and I'll let you elaborate as much as you want. And you've got this YouTube channel, and there's a lot going on in your life, so I'm wondering what your why is behind your detailing content on YouTube and why you are making these videos.
At first, before Bev got cancer, because a lot of you guys don't know, it's my wife was diagnosed with cancer January 18th. During that time, I had released like 4 videos. So first, YouTube was just fun to do, right? That's my wife, my 2 kids. Then it became my outlet. It helped me have some normacy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the, so to track back, my why was to make sure that I could stay focused for my kids, stay focused for my family. And then if I could go somewhere that was close, right, which is my garage is down the stairs, that I could always be around, and it helped me not get into a funk. So my why changed from YouTube from being how funny can I be to this is my cry for help. It was literally I just needed to be around people. I needed to get it out. And YouTube became that for me, an outlet to express myself and find normacy in things and find friends. Like I have a whole slew of people I talk to on a daily basis because of it.
Well, I think it's so important because detailing can be lonely, right? Like, put in the comments below, like, if you guys feel like detailing is lonely or isolating, and obviously you're here for a reason, but like, it can be fun to brag online with your super shiny cars and your transformation details, but it's also lonely. The behind the scenes of that is just a lot of solitude and hard ass work, pardon my French. And so I think it's super important as adults. I've found this now that I work from home a lot with DIY Detail, is like trying to seek out community, whether it's online or in person. It's crucial. It's crucial. And it's therapeutic. You know, HM Auto Detailing says detailing is soothing. I agree. But if you're alone all the time detailing cars, I think community is super important, which is, I think, why the internet's a beautiful thing, right? Because it sounds like you've found that community through your YouTube channel, Eddie. Or you're creating it.
It's just wild, man, because I never thought of my wildest dream, right? Like I would never known a dude in the swamp that's about 5'8".
Is that
looks good, right? He's got a nice goatee. He gets upset. The guy's awesome, right? He's like one of my boys. Jamie the Cleaner. Or a dude from Canada. I got 2 dudes from Canada. So you got Ivan and Dewar. And then, you know, Puerto Rican people from Puerto Rico. And then I got Sock in New York. And then Joey's the only Californian that ever talks to me. So you think of Sam Squatch, functional doctor.
You don't play well in California?
No, they don't play well with chemicals. They're not allowed to do anything over there. So they can only use like Dawn non-clear.
Yeah, there you go.
So you see you know what I'm saying? So when I think about everyone I get to connect with, and I get to talk to functional doctor and Sock and all these people who I've just met friends with, it's really helped me. They propelled me. They helped me get better, helped me, you, and others.
So tell me your detailing story. Like, are you just some hack? Like, how should I trust you? You've been around since November on YouTube. Like, you detail from your garage. Like, come on, man. What you got? What you got?
And the cool thing about this is Nick knows I'm not a hack. He saw my skills.
When did you start detailing? Like, how do I know? How do I trust you? You know, Give me a sense of like who you were before YouTube and your detailing journey. And it doesn't take long in this life to get good at this stuff, but I'm playing dumb here. Obviously, I know you're really good at what you do, but I think I'd be curious to kind of hear your genesis story on the detailing side of things.
So my dad is watching. When we were growing up, my dad, he's from Puerto Rico. He doesn't know English, so he would do like, oh, stop it, Mike. You're the only real Californian because Joey caps a lot. Joey doesn't know what he wants. One day he loves me, the next day he hates me.
Don Soap Gang. Oh, is that a GTR, Joey?
Yeah.
I used to have a GTR. Those are sick.
So my dad we would always do cars together. And then there was one time, like a long time ago, bro, I had to be like 13, 14. I would go around the mobile home park. No, I'm not Eminem. But, you know, my dad did what he could. And I took a bucket. I took a chamois. I took the green turtle wax soap. And do you remember those old buffers that were like, you had to plug them in? And they were like circle, and you hold them with two hands, and you'll buff a car and put like hard wax on, wax off. And I would go around the mobile home park, and I would start washing cars. Long time. So went from that to we moved to Idaho. I went to college, and someone scratched my car, dude. Someone put a key mark.
So you moved to Idaho at what age?
I was married 8 years. I was 27.
Okay. And you have a history of detailing as a kid, working on cars with your dad. So it's in your DNA. It's in there somewhere, right, in the hard drive.
Yep.
So you're 27. You moved to Idaho. You're married, and you have no children yet.
No, we had 2 kids. I had kids. My first kid I had was 22, and that was Wanda. So, what happened was we moved to Idaho. I took a job, and then I was still going to school. I've been in school for like 12 years. I been in school for a long time, bro, because I did anyway. So it was 2019, 2017. I got a Genesis. I park it at Fred Meyer. You know, I don't go to Walmart because people sometimes at Walmart see a car like that, they're gonna scratch you anyway. I go to Fred Meyer thinking that these people are right. You know, I go to Fred Meyer thinking like, okay, I'm in my own class right now. I know that sounds savage.
Classy or something?
Yeah, it's like a classy place, dude. It's a classy place, right? All right. People actually wear clothes before they go in pajamas. Okay. I'm not an elitist. I'm like,
driving where's the Alfa Romeo with the Swiss tracks going to Fred Meyer, you know?
No. The goal. How can people not scratch my car? No, you know I don't eat nothing.
You know, fancy seafood. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But you know what I mean, right?
I know. I love you, brother. So you're at Fred Meyer. You don't want
somebody scratches my car. I go in. I get the milk that Bev needs. I come out, and there's literally a scratch the size of Jamie's neck, like this, right? Like this. And I called around, and I was like, hey, could you guys wet sand? Can you get wet sand? Can you polish this out? Can you fix this? I called every single detailer in town, and you know what they all told me?
What?
We don't do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the genesis here is like you decided after realizing nobody could fix a problem that like you would figure out how to be the one who could fix the problem? Or is it not that simple?
Had to be the one to fix the problem. I had to. Like, who's going to fix my car? So I went, and at that moment, I got 2,000 grit sandpaper, 3,000 grit. I bought a torque, right? I didn't buy the chemical guys things because I could see Masters' face all over. And I was like, can't deal with that guy. That guy looks like a snake.
Oh, no.
So I got some fast correcting cream. I've
heard that's really good. Is that good?
Dude, it's so good. Yeah, Griots. Like
pros like that. I remember what's his name up in Canada? Chromatic Detailing. He was telling me he can't get a lot of things in Canada, and he just he loved fast correcting cream. And
it's good, dude.
Pros say it's really good too. So, all right, I'm interrupting. So you get fast correcting cream, 2 and 3,000
I do it myself.
Paper.
I do it myself.
How bad was it?
I didn't go through the clear, if that's what you're asking. It leveled it out. I actually went on YouTube and I was like, oh man, how do I do this? I watched Brian Apex. I was like, I got this, easy money. Did it, polished the whole car, and then I walk into the house, bro, and not the house that I lived at. It was a smaller home. I said, Bev, I'm going to be a detailer. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get invested. I'm going to do it. So Eddie Cologne did the thing. I'm all in. So I don't know if that's like OCD or if it has some form of Asperger's. I'm all in. I get my license. I get my website. I buy like 30 ceramic coatings. I start coating everyone's car at
What
church.
year was this? What year was this?
Man, this was when Owner's Pride came out, like COVID, before COVID.
Okay. So
And
2019 maybe?
the beginning, the end, middle, and then
Okay.
I started coating everyone's car for free at church. And then I was like, I gotta stop, dude. I'm going poor. Like I'm bankrupt. Like that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it's just now we went from doing that to 10 coatings a month before Bev had cancer.
That's such a fascinating Genesis story. I was listening to this thing. I listen to like motivational stuff on YouTube, and there's this one guy who's like, you may think that having gone through a divorce or a bankruptcy makes you a total failure, but he's like, my dad was a total alcoholic, and this guy's like millions of followers, huge impact guy, and he was sitting there talking to this guy Jay Shetty, and he's like, my dad was an alcoholic and kept trying to get sober for me. And I even asked him as a kid, Dad, are you going to try to get sober again? He's like, yeah, I'm going to try to do it for you. And he met some guy somewhere, I can't remember what it was, who was also a former alcoholic who gave him a chance. And so the whole message of this like inspirational thing was your failure could actually uniquely position you, what you think is a failure, to make a gargantuan impact in the world because his dad got sober from alcohol and he saw that story. It sort of changed his life as a kid. And now he's this massively influential guy. But part of that is that sort of history of failure and overcoming it. And so I just think it's so interesting the things that can be really frustrating to us, how they can serve people later down the line. And I mean, I know it's like not your wife having cancer is a totally different story, and I do want to talk about that. But I meant even like the scratch, right? Like you couldn't get something that you wanted, and I'm sure that was massively frustrating to you as a car lover. But that led to this journey, and look at where we are now.
That was the only car that fat people could fit in without having Shaq money and having it fixed. You know what I'm saying? So I got myself a Genesis GV80. I'm sitting inside. I'm mad comfortable. I work for it, right?
Yeah.
I put myself in a position to buy it. Someone decides to YOLO my car. So there's one thing I learned while playing sports is that everyone wants to be a beast until it's time to do a beast do, right? So they think of a lion. Everyone gets the tattoo of the lion on their hand, and they want to be this big monster, but they don't understand that the lion likes the process of the hunt. You know what I'm saying? They enjoy the process.
So the lion enjoys the process.
The process of hunting. It's the process of the hunt. It's getting low. It's finding it. It's looking at the prey. So you want to be phenomenal or be forgotten, you're gonna have to put the work in, regardless of what you do in life, right? If I want to be a director of IT, which was my goal, I had to put things in place and I had to work towards it. If I want to be the best detailer in my area, right? I don't care if I was 300 square foot garage where I started to now having 960 square foot. You have to put things in place. You have to have a process. And then there's this story that I told you on the porch one day when you and I were smoking cigars. Shout out to the cigars we smoked because those were good. And I said, there was a guy who he came into a classroom and he says, I'm going to tell you this story about a guru. And the guru said, hey, the guy comes up to a guru and says, hey, how can I be successful? He says, meet me at the beach, right? So they go to the beach. The guy's like, I want you to get into the water. I want you to go above your chest. And the guru starts putting his head down. And the guy's, battling for it. And right before he passes out, the guru grabs him, pulls him up and says, what was that one thing that you wanted that you couldn't get at that moment? And the guy said, I wanted to breathe. And then at that moment, he said, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And that's in everything in life, right? So that's how I tackle things. If I want to be the best detailer, I work on my car.
What do you want though? What do you want out of YouTube or detailing?
I want to get to 55,000 subscribers, and I want to give away a detailing van to a struggling family who's starting out.
Why?
I want to impact lives. So that's what I want to do.
There it is. You want to impact lives.
Yep.
That's what success is for you.
Yes. It does not about the money.
Thing. That's the why, dude.
Giveaways, though.
That's amazing. But you have a unique history too, and I don't know how much you want to get into it of overcoming a lot. And I think that's part of where your heart shines for me is some of the things you've had to overcome in your own past. Do you want to go into any of that? Have you gone into any of that? Like kind of growing up, I think you're from Puerto Rico, right? Like,
my dad moved us here.
Did you speak English when you were young? Like I'm trying to your story is remarkable, bro. Like your full-time job is you're a big boy. Like you are massively successful. and you've worked hard for it. Like it didn't just come, right? And I think every detailer understands how important hard work is, but like once you start detailing, it's like you're the only one who's gonna do the work. I don't care how awesome your tools are or your product, it's still work.
Yeah, it's still
And
work.
so that's the whole thing with DIY is like for pros or the person at home, like who's doing the actual work. So you can wear a DIY detail shirt and have the products and be a successful professional detailer because you're still the one doing the work. So that's why I think like DIY is like sort of like across the spectrum of like I don't know. I used to run cross country running when I was in high school, and the one thing that I liked about that whole crew is like all those kids. When it comes down to it, and you're running like 7 miles that day, it's just hard work and it's kind of lonely. And so
It's
there's
a
like
grind.
it's a grind. So when you meet a detailer like SEMA or something, all the ego stuff goes by the wayside, and there's something we all have in common, which is that we all know how to work. There's like
Not
something very
only
humbling about just the ability to work really hard for something and have delayed gratification because it's not all the stuff you read on the internet, you know?
I'll share a few things, Nick. I won't go that far back, but I want to share this. Like, everyone has a story. Does that make sense? I think there's a Chick-fil-A commercial. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. They're not closed. They're not open on Sunday, but if you get down, eat some chicken. It's good. Um, they go into this place and they do this commercial where they're going around and seeing that people are going through different things. Like one says, "I lost my dad." He's sitting there eating, tears in his eye. One lady's thinking, "I'm gonna feed my kids." Blah 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 blah. And at the end of that commercial, they say everyone has a story, right? Some stories are beautiful, some are tragic, right? But it's the overcomers. Is that who you remember? So when I'll tell you this, uh, my father and mother moved from the islands to Florida when we were young. Fast forward, we moved to Philadelphia or Reading, PA. It's the murder capital of the world. Um, I was involved in the streets. My dad did he didn't teach me this. My dad didn't drink. My dad worked hard. My mom worked hard. He did things that my dad is a man's man. Like he's the example of a good father. Does that make sense? But I was involved in some stuff. So my cousin is doing 14 years in jail for cocaine. I was doing drugs. We got uh, everything. My friend got shot in a drive-by. I used to live where uh, people
How
rob
old
you
were
in your
you? How
house.
old were you when
I
your
was like
friend got shot?
16, 17, 18. Oh, that's when college. So he got shot. Or they're throwing mollies of like you ever seen those molly bombs,
No.
right? That on cars. They throw it on cars. And then right like 15 to 20 feet away from me, there's like a guy comes down the street, starts shooting up the block, turns around, shoots up the block again. And that's my dad didn't put us in that scenario. We put ourselves in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we did things. And then life experiences. So at that moment, I was 20 years old, 21 years old. I didn't tell my dad. I called my old youth pastor in Florida. I said, I need to get my life right. He paid for a plane ticket for me to go to California to West Coast Baptist College, where I met Bev. And my dad was poor. He was broke. The last time I saw my dad before I saw him 7 years later, he came down the stairs. He handed me $300. He said, "This is all I could give you." And I ended up at a Christian college. Now I was a grimy dude, right? I was not real personable. I was angry. And at that moment, my whole life changed. It was 2007. My whole life changed. So I went from chasing women, chasing drugs, doing drugs, selling drugs, to I'm at a Christian college where you have to wear a suit, a tie, and then people laugh at you. And where I grew up, if you laughed, we used to slap them in the face in the street. Like if somebody would murk at us, pull over and we'll beat them down, right? So I left that to go this, and I met Bev, and then Jesus changed my life, and it's like I didn't have anything to my name. I didn't have my license. I was already in debt. It was miserable. I met my wife, moved to Montana, and we started a life together. I asked her to marry me, and that's the change that happened to me that brought me to where I'm at now. So then we're about to have our first kid. I didn't finish school. I went back to school, finished my nursing degree. Then I got diagnosed with the eye disease. Who goes to nursing? Who goes to nursing school for 4 years and dude can't even see the needle? My glasses are so thick that Jamie could see the swamp across the street 2 miles away.
Well, you went to school for 4 years for nursing and didn't get to become a nurse?
No, I can't administer medicine. I can't see on my
But when
left
did
eye.
that like that must have been devastating.
It was my last year. I had done this from
Oh.
2008, 9, 10. It was my last year of college, and me and Bev, I'm working $12 an hour. I'm going to school. I'm about to graduate, dude. I'll do the labs. Eyes can't eyes are at that moment when I got my degree, because I have my degree for medical science, a bachelor's in medical science. I had to go back in school and redefine myself. I'm like, what am I gonna do? My whole life, I was like, I want to work in a cancer center, and just before any cancer stuff happened, I wanted to work with kids. You know how you see those kids that they're young, and I want to do magic tricks. That was my whole goal. Like I want to make their life comfortable. Lost the opportunity to do that, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what am I gonna do? So then I started working at Verizon. I'm managing stores, and every night I will come home and I will code for 2 to 5 hours a night and teach myself how to develop. And then I went to school for it. Then I graduated with a degree in computer applications.
But did you graduate with your nursing degree though? You couldn't.
Yeah, I have a degree in medical science.
So you got that degree even though you couldn't get a job, and you knew
I had
you
to finish it. $75,000, Nick.
Yeah, so even though you couldn't get the job, you finished that degree.
I finished.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is like so many things that people overcome are unseen, and they suck in the time. Don't they suck as you're going through them? I mean, it's like you could talk about it now as if like it's what got you here, but I mean that must have been like what was that like for you when you figured out you couldn't become?
I felt bad because my wife was seeing me. It was to the point where I can't drive at night. A lot of people don't know this because we all have our story, right? I couldn't drive at night. I've been through 2 eye surgeries. The last surgery I did, they cut my cornea off and put some stuff on it to try to stop the disease. Later in life, I'll probably need a cornea transplant. I have to wear sclera lenses. If I drive past dusk, I can't see. I can't even see, like, when I'm polishing cars. I don't know if there's a high spot. So I have to have 8 people come out and do it. And you're like, Eddie, you're exaggerating. No, I bring out Wanda. Then I bring out Isabel.
Yeah.
I bring out Bev. And then we repeat the process again in the sun. They don't get the struggle, right? Because I can't, even with the lights in there, it was hard to see stuff. So I had to redefine myself. So I learned how to develop. I taught myself how to develop. Went back to school for that. And and then detailing is amazing. It's changed my life. And then I had goals too, right? Because I didn't just want to build apps so Joey could deny him. Because, shout out to Joey, he works for Apple. He does all that. Yeah, he does all the app approval. He'll deny all my stuff because I'd be doing some weird stuff. But I didn't want to do any of that, man. I wanted to lead people. I wanted to move up. And in the 10 years I did it, I got to be where I'm at now.
Managing many
a department.
A department.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a director.
You say whatever you want to or not about
a director of IT. I forget that you work for the news anchor and you got 2 Emmys, so your questions are impactful. So I don't know how far.
When I worked for the TV news station, because I was in TV news for 14 years, like I was pretty cagey about like saying that on Hawk Pro Detailing. Now I got nothing to hide, and it wasn't hiding. It was just you don't want. So I don't know what you can say about your career, but like you got a big boy job.
I manage a IT department. I'm a director of IT.
And Joey Belinsky would give his cornea to you if he could, by the way.
I would give you my heart, buddy, if I didn't need it to live.
Hey, and that's actually a true thing. I know that about you. I guess the soppy stuff is something we could keep on going, but there's some people here who are detailers who kind of want to know.
Yeah, let's ask questions. Let's do it.
So somebody asked, I think it was Functional Doc, you have tried all of these coatings over the years. What are your favorites? What are your least favorites? I'm not going to get into any of this because I now rep a whole company, so I'm not going to.
Am I allowed to say it on your channel?
Say whatever you want to say.
Okay, cool. Let's start. Great question, Rick.
All right.
His name's Rick, by the way. Guy's awesome.
Okay.
So, Doc, the brands I've tried.
Best and worst coatings. I'm going to put a banner while we're talking. Okay.
Best and worst coatings. Let's start. Okay. Not because I work for them now. We'll get into that. But I've always Owner's Pride 7-year is untouchable. The new one. NV Pro untouchable.
NV Pro. I don't know that.
Yeah, it's from NV Car Care.
Okay.
Untouchable.
NV Pro.
The Drive stuff is real good. It's super good.
Drive
Diamond
appearance.
Yep. DIY. Okay, don't get DIY 8-year and 3-year. And then I'm Diamond Protect 36. The rest of the stuff is trash. Like the rest of the stuff doesn't last. Joey, say what you want. I put like a body spray, and it felt like I just missed water on it, and it just dissipated. Right. La Voz Cosmetica, if you could get your hands on it, it's super good.
Where can folks get that in the States?
LaVozCosmetica.store. EC15 gets you 15% off.
Hey,
it's not affiliated. It's not affiliated. DIY Details, Rinseless 10 gets you 10% off. Hey, I'm gonna throw it out there. We're plugging, right? Help me feed my kids. And then
let's do the plug-in. Where can they get discounts from you?
Owner's Pride, Echo Wash the World. That's not mine. That's Dan's. You get to like 10% off. Rinseless 10. Yeah, you get 10% off DIY. And Drive, if you want to use Drive, you get a one-time coupon. It's EC Details 20.
All right.
But yeah,
all right.
so
shots
the best
fired,
coatings.
Shots fired. Detailing Made Simple said Diamond Pro Tech. 4
the 36
question marks.
The 36 one is good. It's good if you live in California. It'll last you 3 years. If you live in Idaho, you live anywhere where there's salt, it's gonna last you 2 days.
Shots fired. That's what I like to hear from you. Just
I'm just
controversy
being
and
honest.
scandal.
Be honest. This is being honest.
Functional Doc says, love my La Voz Cosmetica 3-phase wash system. That sounds like a lot of work, but I'm sure it's great.
It's fun, Nick. We should have did it when you were there. It's fun.
Actually, I tried some awesome products in your shop. There's so many great products out there, and that's what I'm saying is like, as long as the products are solid, like the philosophy for me at DIY Details, we get so many comments now with like, especially Ivan as like the guru teacher. Someone posted recently in the Facebook page, which if you're not a member, join it. 47,000 members on the DIY Detail Facebook page, but it's like posted a photo of his package on the doorstep with a lineup of the DIY Detail products and was like, hey, I feel like I just paid for my school books, because I've been getting like free college tuition, learning so much on YouTube. Like this is barely anything for me. I'm like paying for a few school books. Like the rest of it has been free. So he just felt like it was very worth it. I'm like, so for us, like, let's teach you, let's provide all that stuff for free. And then hopefully you trust us and want to honor the source and you buy from us. But that's not to say that everything else is trash or you shouldn't use it. Nor would I not want to, like, I won't even say that, like, but I loved trying some of these products in your garage, Eddie. Like I had a great time. Like you reminded me of the good old days when that's what I did on this channel all the time, was like just trying all the most expensive damn products and detailing and like loving every spray of like $70 iron remover, like
that iron remover was fire. Anyway, I want to answer the question about the bad ones. The bad ones.
Okay. Oh, the bad
ones. Everything I just named, everything outside of that, I'm gonna answer this question. Do I think you need to pay $1,500 to get certified to use a coating? I think that's ridiculous. Okay. I think it's ridiculous. I think Evo 4 is going to be better than 5. They said they had like 90 variations of what? How do you make something G-Technic? How do you make something glossier? I don't know. Maybe it takes 80 iterations to add a little more silicone on it to give that pop. There's one that Jamie had on his channel. I won't name the brand yet because I haven't vetted them, but it didn't last 2 washes. Dr. Beasley's one coating I had problems with, but I'll own that because maybe I suck. But Beat Hero was a no hero. And then, other than that, I think you're safe. I think as long as you don't expect it to do miracles and you maintain your stuff, it'll last. But the brands I just named are all fire.
What is your favorite product that like you just enjoy using right now? Like the one that you have the
Ceramic
most
Plus. I don't know why.
The green stuff, right?
You saw it, right? I sprayed it on.
I was an installer for Owner's Pride like 3 years ago. Like when they first started, like all the Optimum guys, Dan Williams and Jamie Gonzalez in Salt Lake, and it was Brian Prescott at the time, I think, and Dustin Wharton. There was like a big push to get the Optimum guys into Owner's Pride and then have them, leverage all of their connections. So Dustin put the full court press on, and I'm like, sure, I'll do this, and I paid to get certified or whatever. And I bought the whole lineup, of course, like we all do when we start with a coating company and spend a lot of money. And I didn't get Ceramic Plus, but I did notice that it somehow actually dried the car faster. So tell me about Ceramic Plus. Like you're loving it. It's a very unique chemistry in detailing.
I don't like. Here's where I'm at. So, Ceramic Plus, for me, I've never used a drying aid. I will always spray rinseless on and then just dry it. Because even that would work, right? Rinseless has those polymers. You could just spray it on, dry it off. Ceramic Plus, one spray. You saw it when we did it to your car. We put the one spray on, the one motion, and I was like, Lord, I don't know what kind of voodoo's in this bottle.
Well, it makes you horny, apparently, according to Sauce.
Yeah. He loves me.
He just wrote that. I use Ceramic Plus today. Never been so horny in my life.
See,
I'm not. Don't understand that. But
this guy, bro, that good. He doesn't drink water. He just drinks Pepsi. This dude, I don't know how he lives, bro. But yeah, that's good. And then to go back to your question, like there's other products I love, like compounds. I'm a compound whore, bro. I love NV products. I love OP, DIY, Drive. There's a whole bunch of products I like. A bunch that I can't get rid of, like Swift from PNS.
You love that one.
My wife said to me, and I quote,
"Is that your biggest hater video where you hated on Swift?"
I was. People were upset, but can't we just be honest about the products and not hurt feelings? Like, how do we get better as people and companies? Like, that's the reason Owner's Pride put me on, is because I get to see the products. I get to view the products, and if I don't like the products, I talk to the boss, talk to Damon, and I'm like, we got to change this, right? So when you hear,
because when you're dissing a product, it's a direct threat at someone's livelihood, so it's a big deal.
I don't know why though. Why can't we? If you said, Nick, you told me, Eddie, your audio sucks, or when
but you didn't like it when I said that.
No one likes it. I was a little dry. I didn't have lotion on. So I was a little dry in between the breast area. But then I was like,
you told me to own my words because I tried to back it down. You're like, own
own it. Like, you said it.
Your audio sucks, man.
Rick tells me, the doc says, hey, we need to get you healthy. That's his nice way of saying, dude, you are fat. Ivan does the same thing. Like, you need to lose weight. Shout out to losing 90 pounds since last year, everybody. So when I think critique, right, when Sock was here in the garage learning how to do rotary, he was literally on a panel for an hour and a half trying not to get holograms. And that was the dude that I really respected, because he didn't get upset. He took the critique, he changed. I believe that. Like, if you say, Eddie, I don't like your videos, I'm going to take it. And no, like Joey's wife makes the best mugs in the world. But I won't shout her out anymore because he just made that comment. So
Eddie,
that's where we're at.
Right? Like he said. No, I mean, I think taking criticism is incredibly difficult as an adult. It's hard. And when you ask for feedback, that's one thing, but most people don't like unsolicited feedback. And that's what you've learned as a manager, I'm sure, is like how to provide feedback and not have people take it as a personal assault. It's a very fine line, isn't it?
It is. But if we're going to get better as people, companies, detailers, fathers, whatever, you said this the other day, where there's smoke, there's what?
Fire.
There's fire. So I got to improve my audio. I sound like I'm underwater. Ceramic Plus is Owner's Pride.
Yeah. Which, okay, I do want to answer a couple questions here, just because we've been all over the place, which is beautiful. Detailing Made Simple Sock says, what's your overall favorite detailing companies? Meaning what companies you feel has a complete assortment of products that is great. Of course, not all detailing companies make the best everything.
All right, ready? I'm going to say something that's going to blow everyone's mind. Owner's Pride, DIY, NV Car Care, PNS.
Is PNS over or underrated, do you think?
Half and half. I'll tell you after I finish answering this. Hold that question, because that's a good question.
Okay.
PNS, Armor, Detail Supply, Drive, Automotive Appearance. All right, back to your question. PNS, I say half and half is because people will come out and they're like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they don't want to hear the truth. So do they have a lot of good products? I think Breakbuster is amazing. I think Breakbuster is amazing. I think Natural is real good.
What's Natural?
Natural is like a dressing.
Okay.
Iron Buster is cancer in a bottle. Don't ever buy that. Mix it with something else.
You don't like the smell of their Iron Buster? I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
It's you know what it smells like, Nick? It's like
to me, it feels like a mild version of like some, because it can get real offensive in iron remover land. I'll put it that way in terms of odor. And honestly, I think Beadmaker, man, like
Beadmaker price,
but to me, it's a shine product. Like let's shine up the door jambs. Let's shine up the car after we wash it. We're not talking about a Ceramic Plus or what's the pink stuff from Owners Pride? Ceramic Detailer, right? Or ceramic gloss from DIY Detail. But the aspirations are not to be that. So I have a soft
You're
spot
right.
because
You're right.
I talked to Bob Phillips from PNS at the Chicago Auto Pros event, and he's like, the rag company is the one who publicized Beadmaker as, let's flush the panel with 50 sprays of Beadmaker, right? And like, let's just make sure we just like use a whole bottle. Like, that was never what they branded it as, but it sort of took on a life of its own because Beadmaker, through the rag company and Matt Moorman and Pan, exploded, right? And so part of the PR from, I think it was Anthony or Levi, was like, let's just saturate the panel. So it took on a life of its own through rag company, but Beadmaker was never supposed to be this like perfect protective product.
No,
forever.
it
I look
wasn't,
at it as like
but
a beautiful spray shine product.
the
Very
question
easily
was on
priced.
here, Nick, that
Yeah.
what is the best, what's your favorite detailing companies that have everything?
Yep,
Not
yep.
all companies make great stuff,
Yep.
right? So I say PNS because if you're broke and you're just starting off.
Detailing made simple, says Beadmaker.
Yeah.
Poop emoji. I was just trying to balance, like, because I now represent a brand. I don't want it just to be all DIY, and I don't want you to sit here and think I'm trashing.
All right, so let's
I'm trying
go
to
back.
keep it politically correct a little bit.
PNS, the only thing I like from PNS are the two things I shouted out. Ricky's right. I'm not gonna lie to you. So if you like Breakbuster, it works. Natural works. The rest, just go to DIY, go to Owner's Pride, go to Envy Car Care Products. Yeah.
Super Auto 2K, someone that you've been able to bless through a giveaway. You got your DIY 3-year coating yesterday from the How Has Detailing Changed Your Life question we asked when we detailed Nick's Subaru featuring Izzy. So, man, I hope you had a chance to use it, Super Auto 2K. Or when you do, let me know. Let me know. I would say early on, we were promoting DIY Details new coatings as like, you have a 5-minute open time, and you do. But I would say after 30 seconds, if it's wiping off easy, wipe it off after 30 seconds. Because if you wait 4 minutes, 5 minutes, it may be more difficult. But all I've gotten feedback from people, Eddie, is just that it's like, these are dummy simple to use. So I don't think anyone's waiting 5 minutes like we suggested anyway. So
if we would have waited 5 minutes in the garage the other day, we would have had to polish the whole car again.
Yeah, because it was so humid. All we needed was 30 seconds. Anyway, Sam Squatch says Turtle Wax Rapid Decon. Ooh, that's a good question. Is like, for the price, do you think Turtle Wax is over or underrated? Because they have some fire products.
Nick,
come on, man.
I wouldn't use Turtle Wax if Jamie the Cleaner came here and made me coffee by hand. Not doing it. I wouldn't.
Does he drink coffee?
Yeah, he drinks coffee.
Umberto says, I like AM Details Iron Fallout Remover. Doesn't smell
good.
And the clay bar only requires water as lubricant.
I stopped buying their stuff because they sold it. So they're no longer grassroots for me. So I stopped buying their stuff.
You're about that life. You're loyal.
Just trying to help them out. Trying to help companies out.
Let's talk about Owner's Pride. Pretty big deal for someone who just started in November on YouTube, kind of making a public splash, to all of a sudden be hired with a prominent and successful company like Owner's Pride. So tell me, what is your position there and how did that happen?
Great question. So
I know it's a great question.
That's a super good question because I didn't even think about how I'm going to answer this. So do I believe there's other people who could have done a better job? Always someone better, right? I feel fortunate, and I do want everyone to know that my channel is my channel. I would keep doing what I do. I already got permission to do and say what I want to do on mine. How Owner's Pride happened was through Happy Stance. So I was fortunate enough through relationships between Damon, Ivan, you, that I got to meet Damon, talk to him. And in the background, they're like, hey, we really need someone who could help us. You test things. You could do. You test a lot of stuff. You see my garage. I have everything. I test everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to lie here. They're like, you test stuff. We need someone who could come in and do videos, give the why behind it, and then tell us, what sucks and what doesn't. So that's the nature of that. There's no other backstory on it. I think with the help of Ivan vetting me, which, and Damon believing in Ivan because they have a relationship, I was able to kind of interview. And so now I make content on how to use their products. Because, when you see Slick or you see Ceramic Plus or Ceramic Detailer, what are you using first? No one knows, right? Unless you've been in the mix for a long time. So that's the why behind it. That's how I got that. So super fortunate. So I'll be helping look at the products, streamline some things, come out with new products, test products. Like their 7 year, I tested on my Tesla. No one knew it was that product. Had it on there for a month. Haven't watched it yet.
So OP7 is a new coating. Can you tell me about it? Is it like how
Yeah.
new is it? What it, you see when you've talked about it before to me, you're like, this stuff is untouchable. So I'd love to know more about it. Just
so I rate coatings on three things, right?
Okay.
I rate coatings on ease of use. I need visual because I'm blind. So remember, I'm coming from a man who doesn't have good sight. So I need to see some sweating and beating because that indicates to me it's good to go. So when you're like, put the rainbow on, I can't see the rainbow. So I need ease of use. I need the claims to be true because we've all heard coatings say last 10 years. My guy, dude, come on, bro. Nothing's lasting 10 years. I don't care what you have to. You top and send, or you make it last the rest of your life, right? We know that. That's the top and send culture. Like top it with something, keep it going. And then I need it to be durable. I live in Idaho, so a lot of coatings that I test, and this is why I like testing here, they don't last through the winter. So I need it to last through the winter. So they sent me the bottle of coating. They got down. Ivan's like, one day he comes out. He's like, I see you got this coating. There's nothing on the label. It's just clear white. Nothing on the label, Nick. It looks like I'm selling a Perico, like a cocaine vial with like liquid cocaine.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And then Ivan comes. He's like, you know what we should do? Let's take the PPF off your car. I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden he goes outside. He opens the door. And he's like, it's all scratched up. And he starts pulling it. I start laughing
because
I'm like,
PPF looked red. Like that was getting nasty, dude.
It was purple, bro. I was the only
you have
dude.
You have like the most HD camera, and you'd be like, look, this rinseless wash is doing great, and all I saw was scratches. Like I couldn't even pay attention. I was like, it's just so scratched. But anyway, it was cool.
We took it off.
Yeah.
I got a little sad because I was in the purple movie on the world. It looked fire, dude. And then all of a sudden, I was like, let's test this coating. We polished the car, tested it. We left the high spot. I'm being honest. So I left the high spot, Nick, laugh out loud, on the corner of my A-pillar on the Tesla. Me and Ivan came back to try to wipe it off. 25 minutes later, it didn't come off.
No.
We did it again. So we try to reactivate it.
How do you get it? How do you get it off? You have to compound?
Bro, I tried compounded it. It didn't come off.
What?
I had to wet sand it.
You had to wet sand to get rid of the high spot from OP7?
Yeah, it's so the coating. So this is where we got to get real honest, right? Let me ask you a question. If you have a coating that says they're 90% solids, what's that mean? That means when I open the bottle, that air comes into it and the air starts to get that chemistry going and the coating crystallizes. I've only seen coatings, like a few, that when you open the bottle and air hits it and you leave it open while you're going around the car, that starts to crystallize. That's high solids. Owner's Pride's new coating has 70% high solids. You're like, Eddie, that's not a lot. That's the most real in the business. It's the most real in the business. So
it is the highest solid count of any coatings that you know of. I mean, you can't claim that no one else is doing it.
I can't claim it, but I've never seen it. So let me ask you a question.
But you're also tapping into the wisdom of these chemists who are like, yo, you want to spend all this money on something with this much of a solid count? Like, here you go. Like, we'll create this for you, but like it's never been done. Isn't that kind of what you're hearing? Or what?
We tried them all, Nick. I tried them all. I tried. I'm an installer for everybody. You're lying. I can share my screen, log into every person's account except for Optimum because I think they're trash. I can log into every person's account and they've all make amazing coatings. So I tried them all. I just don't think it's not what they say it is. You don't see the crystals in the So we tried the coating, haven't washed it. It's a new thing that came out. The chemist said that this thing is what is it? It's like static free, dude. You've seen it in my car. It looks clean. I haven't washed it in a month.
It does look clean and shiny, as we would like cars to do in the detailing world. So we've touched in a little bit about like some of your favorite coatings, some of your least favorite coatings, your new job at Owner's Pride. Yeah. I'd like to keep this at under an hour. So I want to give you the floor for the next 5 minutes. Is there something you want to talk about? I know you've touched briefly about your personal story. And if folks want to learn more about that, you could tell them now or on your channel, or just anything else that you feel like the world needs to know about Eddie Colon, EC Details.
I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. It's a Saturday afternoon. Nick, thanks for having me. I hope I was able to answer the questions there's more to owner's pride, but I'm still trying to get my feet wet. Does that make sense? I'm still trying to learn how to do it, how to interact. I do want to appreciate everyone that's subscribed to the channel, for just being there, for hanging out. And Nick, thank you for your friendship, because I really do love it. I love our talks.
It's interesting. I appreciate you, and I would just say the same to you. But like, you and I are both very different and interesting people, and I think that goes to for like so many people I've met in detailing. Is like Ivan's a different cat. You're a different cat. Like, we're all very unique in our own ways. And isn't it just fascinating that like cleaning cars has brought us all together? Like for everybody in the chat too is like, isn't this wild that we all kind of know each other? You know, like Functional Doc, Umberto, first from Puerto Rico, Sam Squatch, Nick M has been watching my videos for years. Like, I don't know, man. I really appreciate everybody. Functional Doc asks, have you tried Duraslick coatings?
Yeah, I got, that's a great question, Doc. I was going to buy it, and then I felt like I was watching the guy from TV who does like the flex thing when they spray the black spray on the thing. It says water doesn't get in it. I didn't believe him. I got Masterson vibes, so I kind of didn't buy it. If you want, I could buy it. I am certified to get it. I just don't.
Masterson vibes. He was on this podcast, by the way. He was Hawk Talk episode number 1, and people loved it and hated it at the same time.
No, Masterson does. You know, that guy's he's a guy.
He's a
that
one.
He stays in his own lane, dude.
He's a one of one, isn't he? Or maybe
he's been around since 1935. He's 22 years old.
He has a mustache now, which I feel like I led the charge on that. So I'm gonna take.
He has a stash. You know, I don't think you want credit for that, my guy.
He'll get a mullet soon, and that'll be.
I think he started it already
for Greg. That'll be a look.
But yeah, shout out to everyone, Nick. Thank you. And then just appreciate. I know we were all over it, but I think podcasts should be like this, back and forth, not so rigid.
And that's the thing, is like I had a podcast with a gentleman from Australia. How am I blanking on your name? Matt Gibb. And we stayed to an hour, and it was like there were like 3 more hours of content that he wanted to share about all of his philosophies of polishing. And I'm like, bro, you know, a good story, I'm not saying this is anything like that, but like a good book or a good movie, it leaves you wanting more at the end. It's perfectly fine. You know, we're going to cap it at an hour. Leah RD158, I58 says, we thank you guys for keeping it real. Sock says, love both you guys. Appreciate you. Should we do one of these guys? No. The GOAT, dude. You were a football player, Eddie. I can't believe that.
You saw me in real life. Daddy moves fast.
He does. Daddy does move fast. And I don't call him Daddy either, but apparently I just did. Super Auto 2K says, thoughts on flares all sprayers. We're gonna do popcorn questions for the next 2 minutes, then we're out. Thoughts on flares all sprayers? Yeah.
Save your money. Next question.
All right. Functional Doc. Actually, we don't have any other questions. But if you guys got them, I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes. Who's left? Who has any more questions? You know what the beautiful thing about you, Eddie, is I feel like you're very accessible, so people know that this isn't like the last time they're gonna get to chat with you.
They know where I live.
You know who I really want to get on the podcast, and if anybody knows or has a connection to him, Adam Patali from Adam's Polishes. Wouldn't that be a good interview?
Yeah,
like kind of an OG in the game. I know nothing about him, whether he does interviews ever. But if anybody has any ideas out there on how I could get in touch with him, I can.
Have you tried Majestic Solution Shield Repel? What the heck is that? Google it right now, bro.
Have you tried Majestic Solution Shield Repel?
I haven't. Where can I get it?
Eddie's gonna order it.
Yeah. Shield. Nope.
No, I haven't tried that. It looks interesting.
I'm gonna have to buy it.
Majestic Solutions. Their logo looks kind of.
Look, I'm back in the 40s again.
McGuire's, yeah, like hot rod, kind of masculine. You know what I'm saying?
You know
like very like Mike Phillips Auto Geek type, red and yellow and black. But
what's your favorite part of a vehicle to detail?
Have you tried buttery wax? Says Ricky.
Yeah, I put that all over my body. I put that all over my body before I go outside and tan.
All right, next question. What is your favorite part of the vehicle to detail, interior or exterior?
Exterior, wash, clay, polish, ceramic. My favorite.
For me, if you give me 5 hours, it's to dial in an interior to like absolute perfection. Extract, rapid dry, just compressor, steamer, nice vacuum. Like get the door jambs, windows right. That's the most rewarding thing for me. Polishing is fun, but I love doing interiors. Love everybody. 1 hour. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you for having me.
Hawk Talk. Peace. Woo!